Early one summer morning, Henry was waiting to depart with the flying tipper. Neville had arrived with some trucks. "Have you heard the news?" he asked Henry. "No," replied the black guy. "Apparently, Tidmouth hasn't had a pilot engine for quite some time," Neville said. "What with Stanley working on Thomas's branch line, Bell working on commuter trains, Charlie working at Croven's Gate repair shop as a shunter, and Billy working on a Little Western with Duck, Oliver, Donald, and Douglas." "And Gordon's been complaining?" Henry asked. "More like Gordon and James," Neville said. "Where's the pilot coming from?" Henry asked. "The Fat Controller said that the pilot engine is coming from the Vickerstown Diesel Works," Neville said. Henry knew of only two engines that came from that area. Dart, a D.H. Bagnall 040 diesel-electric shunter, and Den, a Rolls-Royce Sentinel diesel hydraulic 040. Both engines were nice and kind. Dart was always rushing about, but he was a perfectionist type of diesel, and Den took his time and thought of what he was going to say. The guard blew his whistle, and Henry puffed away, the vans running smoothly behind. As he approached the big station, he noticed a slate-gray diesel shunting the morning commuter train into place. "Morning, Den," Henry called, and Den tooted back. After Henry left, Den rumbled towards the siding to send some trucks to go back to Croven's Gate. After the trains were arranged, Den rolled into a siding to rest. Soon Molly came to collect the commuter train, and Donald came to collect the train to Croven's Gate. Once all the trains had left, Den's second man returned with some more orders. "We need to ready a return train for the Little Western, and we're to wait for a special of Japanese elm and conifer logs from Misty Island," Den's second man told the driver and Den. Den rolled out of the small shed and shunted a small return train into the siding, and rolled into a small siding. Half an hour later, Duck arrived with a small goods train that was to be added to another train bound for the other railway. Den waited until Duck was uncoupled from the trucks, and after he was moved into a siding, Den shunted the trucks into another road, and waited for the other trucks to arrive. Soon, Ferdinand arrived at the log. They were needed to help repair part of the station. Den knew that he couldn't leave the trucks to block the line, so he oiled over to the wagon and was coupled up to them. The station master came out and asked to shunt them over onto a siding next to the station. "That leads to the Little Western," the driver said, "and we can't block the road." "Look, the next train isn't due until this evening," the station master said, but he had reckoned without the ballast train. Den left the train blocking the Little Western's road and went to arrange Gordon's Express, the Wild Nor'Western. After the train was arranged, he went and arranged a train for Bell to take to Wellsworth. After the trains were arranged, Den ran onto a siding out of the way. The trains waited and waited, but the engines didn't arrive. It was a half an hour later that a black tender backed onto the express. Den recognized the engine as Douglas. "Gordon's failed at the shed," explained the yard manager, and Douglas was first in steam and was waiting for his turn of duty. Douglas started away, but his fourth coach barely cleared the platform when there was an almighty crash from the Little Western's road. Everyone looked to see Arthur tangled up in a rear log wagon. He had been collecting a load of ballast from the Little Western and was trying to make up time. The ballast load he had collected was for a section of his branch line that had been washed away. "First the washout, then this," he snorted angrily. Workmen surveyed the accident, and after Arthur's driver had told them about the signal being at clear, the foreman turned to Den. "Did you set these trucks here on purpose?" he asked. "I ordered them to set the trucks here," the station master said. "I didn't realize that ballast trains came down. I was transferred here." The works foreman shook his head. The express and the goods trains left. Boko took care of the goods train, and thanks to both Douglas and Boko, the trains managed to make up for lost time. As for the log jam, it was some time before Hank arrived with Rocky and the breakdown train. Dennis, who shunted the yards at Tidmouth, arrived with some wagons to carry away the broken logs from the train. Arthur's crew were shaken. The ballast wagons were all right when Scrub, who was surplus to requirement as a waste dump, came down to take the trucks along the Tidmouth Fishing Village branch line to where the washout was. The line was mended in due course, but Arthur wasn't and had to be shunted to Silver. The logs in the last wagon were ruined, and after the Fat Controller was informed, he sat and looked out at the wrecked site. "Where can I get more logs?" he asked. But that's another story.